very complicated question because I am an American-born Chinese.
In Asia, as in South America, the people live more or less day by day.
欧洲人在有些地方比亚洲人还要含蓄。
哦，真的吗？
外国朋友他会觉得我跟普通中国人好像有点不一样。
Hola chicos，我是 Adele。大家常说外国人是这样，外国人是那样，但是外国人跟亚洲人真的差很多吗？今天呢要来访问当地人对于亚洲人跟欧洲人差异的想法，有哪些价值观差异非常的大？欧洲人真的比较自我自私吗？亚洲人很爱钱吗
Do you consider yourself more like a Westerner or Asian?
I think that's a very complicated question because I am an American-born Chinese. Grew up in the Western culture with a lot of the stuff that my parents still taught me from our Chinese heritage side. So it's hard to say whether I consider myself more Western or more Asian. I'm a Western Asian, so
Perfect answer.
来这边之后，就是接触了很多外国的朋友，身边现在有美国、有英国的那些朋友，他们就特别的开朗，所以我感觉也受到他们一些影响。感觉我现在应该变成了艺人。之前可能我不太喜欢跟陌生人交流，或者是说很害羞，但是现在的话会积极的跟别人沟通吧。
自己在性格上，你会比较偏向亚洲还是欧洲？
我感觉一半一半嘛。
一半一半吗？怎么说？
骨子里面还是像亚洲人一点，就像东方人一点，比较含蓄，表达问题。但是我又不像国内的很多中国人一样，那种思维方式还是有点不一样。就有很多外国朋友，他们会觉得我跟普通中国人好像有点不一样，因为我是学心理学的。
哦，
对，所以接触了很多的西方的文化，让你的认知更偏向于西化一点的。从小到大都是接受的国内的教育，还有文化什么的。所以我刚才说一半一半，就这个意思。
你有没有发现西方跟欧洲有一些价值观的一些不同？
我觉得还蛮多的，就比如我一个朋友回消息的方式跟我们国内的人就不太一样，他们就可能比较专注个人吧。我们如果收到消息的话，可能就会立马回复，但是他们不会，可能会隔个1-2天，然后才会回你，
觉得不急，
或者就他们觉得不至于这个问题可以不用回答，他就不会回你了。
第一个就是运动吧。
哦，运动吗？
很多我身边的同龄人。还有一些年轻人在亚洲的不怎么喜欢运动，最主要是中国。因为我在日本玩的时候，我感觉日本人还是挺喜欢运动，比例会比中国要高。然后这边就更不用说了，天天都有小孩子啊，就各个年龄层的人在踢足球，
比较偏向室外活动。
海边也是很多人打排球啊，沙滩排球那个。
I mean, even within Asian cultures, there's just so many differences in what they value first. But I think from a Taiwanese perspective, at least from what I've experienced, value job security, which ties into money, and then family kind of comes in like a second or third depending on how you look at it, and then quality of life. You make do with what you have, and I think people are just, not happy, they're not disappointed, they're just kind of content in living through life, whereas Europeans, I think they value the quality of life more. Like quality of life and family are kind of tied for the number one position, and then comes money and job tied for number 2.
What about in America?
Money. Yeah, money is because especially with inflation everywhere in the world right now, it's like, in order to make sure that you have a place to live, you kind of need to focus on money to make sure that you can afford it, even if that means working like 2 or 3 jobs depending on what you're doing.
I think, or I have the feeling that in Asia, as in South America, the people live more or less day by day. They really care for family. I mean, they are very attached with families. I found it very similar with South America. I think the people who live here in Europe, they prioritize more money, so they can work a lot of hours without a day off, because they want to collect more money to maybe go back to their countries.
很多人说西方主义比较追求个人，亚洲我们这边比较群体，你认同这样的观点吗？
觉得应该是的。
I think that's a very true statement.
I think also this can happen because the resources that people have.
因为接触的日本人好像也是这样，不仅仅是中国人这样，台湾人、香港人接触的比较少，但是日本和中国人好像都是这种特质，喜欢在一起，就讨论的那种讲话的风格，让你感觉到好像并不是喜欢凸显自己的想法。
It is noticeable, especially when you leave like the United States, for example, for the first time, and then you come here, and then you go to like Asia, where Taiwan, Korea, or Japan, and you just see everyone has this group mentality. Like COVID or like catching the flu, for example, everyone's like, oh, how can I protect everyone else? Let me wear a mask first, just to make sure that my germs are contained to myself. Whereas Westerners are like, you can't tell me what to do. I'm not going to wear a mask even if I'm sick, So it's very different mentalities. Sometimes it's laughable. Other times you're just like, can you, for the betterment of the group as a general.
In Europe, it's like a rich continent. They have different opportunities. In Asia or South America, the opportunities are totally different. Sometimes you focus on you like day by day. It's a different lifestyle.
Some people say Asian we are more like indirect, whereas Western tend to be more direct.
I think that's very accurate. Asians are, from my experience, we're very non-confrontational and very passive-aggressive because we'll say things after things have already happened. You're like, oh, I could have said this, I could have said that. Yes, Westerners are very direct, and sometimes, especially I think for Asians that are born in the US, it's kind of a balancing game because you're so used to acting one way, and then it's like but on the other hand, you grew up and you're like, no, I'm going to say exactly what I want to say because I can. It comes to walking a fine line of knowing when to kind of like pick your battles on what it is you want to be direct and indirect about.
Find yourself struggle sometimes?
Sometimes, because there are times when like my mom and I will get into arguments and I'm just like, okay mom, you're right, let me just not, okay, yes mom. Yeah.
But that's more like I would say probably more Asian mentality.
Yeah.
日本人不是有一句话叫做三个面孔做人吗？
我不知道，
就是三个面孔做人。反正东方人、中国人其实也是这样吧。西方人的这种直来直去有点不一样，有时候也看什么地方嘛，也看什么方面。欧洲人在有些地方比亚洲人还要含蓄。
怎么说？哪里？
就是比如说评价一个人的，
就会比较含蓄。
对，评价这方面的东西可能就会比较含蓄。
And I think it's not about countries or what cultures, it's about people. So
Like the personality.
Exactly. It's when you smile to someone, maybe that person will smile to you back. So for me, it's not about country or it's more about personality.
你有觉得欧洲他们比较外放、比较直接吗？
是，我觉得是因为可能就是因为他们比较外向，所以我也不会觉得如果我外向会有什么差别，所以可能就是也带动我现在变得慢慢就是越来越愿意和别人社交。
The same as two different cultures meeting. You notice the differences more than you notice the similarities, and that's what you tend to focus on. But I think as long as you both sides have an open mind as far as like learning about each other's cultures, similarities and differences, I think it can be a pretty good experience for everyone.
Again, I think like it's more personal decisions. When you care about yourself and when you learn about yourself, you will express what you feel and without care about skin or many different the language or many different things that right now the society puts like so much difference between us. Like you are from that country, you are from that society, you speak that language, and this difference make us to feel like we are from
So
one
separate,
place.
yeah.
Exactly. But when you learn that the planet is one,
觉得你回去这样会不会有一些文化冲击？
可能会吧，但是也不一定了，因为我觉得可能回国了之后，我可能还是会偏向国内的方式一点。
是吗？
应该吧，但是对我个人性格的变化，我估计是不会有什么改变。
好啦，那这就是今天的影片，希望大家喜欢。留言告诉我，你们自己有没有发现什么样欧洲人跟亚洲人的差异？其实到底也没有差那么多吧。喜欢的话，记得帮我按赞、分享、加订阅。就这样啦，拜拜。